Let's talk about this, though. Breaking news coming in the last hour or so. We now have Hurricane Erin. It has strengthened to 75 miles per hour. Pressure is at 996. You can see the pressure is dropping and the wind speeds are picking up, indicating that this is strengthening, and we will continue to see it strengthen. Really started to register the winds about August 8th, and then the last day or so we got up into the tropical storm category, and now we are in hurricane category as far as those wind speeds go. Where is Erin headed? Well, not a whole lot changing in the forecast path. So as we go through the day tomorrow, expecting it to be a Category 2, Category 3 on Sunday, and then up to a Category 4 Sunday night into Monday morning, staying that way. Look at those winds up to about 140 miles per hour, but look at this big right-hand turn as it heads deeper into its trek. Now, we will still see some impacts in the Carolinas. We're talking about some big surf. We're talking about rip currents and beach erosion, all going to be factors when Hurricane Erin makes that right-hand turn, even though it's not a direct impact. It's something that we are going to have to watch. Have some